All right, what is going on, Banter fam? Welcome into the Tuesday edition of In the Game. I am your host, Hustle, and as always, we will be taking a deep dive into the crypto gaming market today. And I really want to hone in on how to vet projects, especially during the bear market, between utility, team, what is the product, what is the niche, what is the scope of audience that they can reach. I'm going to go through my key utility points that I look for with projects and an ability to put them into a watch list. So whenever you feel comfortable, when Bitcoin does hit its bottoms, I see the gaming niche being one of the biggest gainers whenever the market does turn bullish. Whenever that is, you want to be prepared and have the exact projects that you are looking for in your scope and ready to fire. And some of these projects are 8x off all-time high, 10x off all-time high. And we're talking about some of the top protocols in crypto gaming. So without further ado, let's get in the game.
T-minus 15 seconds. Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
If you ain't here to hustle, why is you here? But if you here to hustle, the moon is near. It's crypto Banter, not financial advice. If you don't listen, what's the cost, what's the price? This ain't a game, put you on game. I know we gon' play, but ain't a cent. If you ain't here to hustle, why is you here? But if you here to hustle, the moon is near. It's crypto Banter, not financial advice. If you don't listen, what's the cost, what's the price? This ain't a game, put you on game. I know we gon' play, but ain't here to play. If you get lost, show you the way.
All right, and let's dive right into it. And I do have a little bit of a watch list put together here from some top protocols, games, metaverses, gaming studios, blockchains. And I kind of want to walk you through how to vet these projects, because right now is the time to definitely be doing your deep dive and due diligence into these products, into these games, into the teams behind these games. So without further ado, let's get into it. And I want to hone in on what I look at when I'm putting a watch list together, right? So we're going to take a look and we're going to start with team. So I like to definitely bet on people and not. You're looking across the space. You want to find protocols and projects with great people at the head. So for example, Polygon, let's just take a look at Polygon, which is built for gaming. And this is a gaming blockchain. And over time, it's been a little slow. They've had their hiccups. Not too many top games are building on Polygon at the moment. But when you take a look, obviously, a great risk return, over 4.5x off of all-time highs. And they recently added Ryan Wyatt to the team. If you don't know, Ryan Wyatt is the head of YouTube, ex-head of YouTube Gaming. So he came from YouTube Gaming, which is an absolutely massive platform. And he is now the CEO of Polygon Studios. And he will be doing everything to bring this to the masses and make Polygon the gaming protocol that they have promised. As we see, 90 plus years of cumulative experience across game studios, publishers, and platform, including EA, Activision, Riot Games, YouTube, Amazon, Unity. So when these platforms and these experiences all come together to work on a crypto gaming protocol, that is very bullish in my opinion. And then we flip from a blockchain to a game, right? When there's a team building a game, you want to know what their past experience is. So when you take a look at a game like Big Time, for example, guys who have worked on the likes of Gears of War, Medal of Honor, World of Warcraft, Call of Duty, and that's all legitimate. And even at the top level, Ari is the co-founder of Decentraland, one of the largest metaverse protocols and projects out there currently. So when you're taking a look at teams, that is definitely something to hone in on. Even Ultra, for example, Ultra's team has had 25 plus years of experience. Their top two guys, the co-CEOs of Ultra, they have been working together for over 2 decades, and they have built multiple games in the Web 2 space over that time, and they have a massive index of experience and a massive resume. So that's one thing I love to take a look at, is betting on people and not promises. So next, you want to take a look at what is the product. What is the product, right? So when you take a look at Ultra, it is the Steam of crypto gaming. When you take a look at something like a Polygon, it is a gaming blockchain. There will be users actively participating and transacting on the blockchain. When you look at something like Gala Games, their product is a gaming studio, a full-blown gaming ecosystem. So this is the type of stuff that you want to understand. And then what exactly are they building? So we'll move on from the product itself to what is the utility of the product. So it's one thing to have all this in one ecosystem, etc. But when you're taking a look at the utility behind these products, you're going to be able to load into Gala Games ecosystem and play these games. You're going to be able to log in to the Ultra platform and have a plethora of Web 2 and Web 3 games at your fingertips. Also, when you take a look at a Verasity, this will be one of the top esports streaming protocols on the blockchain. So you want to know exactly what you're getting into and the utility behind these platforms. Superfarm, for example. Superfarm is not only building games. Superfarm is going to build out an NFT marketplace built with Immutable X that will have competition potentially with OpenSea with a low gas solution that will actually be a much better fit for those guys who don't want to pay massive gas fees on the Ethereum network. And then Vulcan Forge, for example. Vulcan Forge, when you take a look at their games, their blockchain coming out with the Elysium blockchain, as well as multiple games. They are building 10 plus games on this platform. So the niche and the utility of these protocols is very important to take a look at. And then let's roll from utility over to the scope. And scope is one of the best things of Vulcan Forge or a Gala Games. So they're not only touching one fan base. So if you're building a first-person shooter, you are only appealing to first-person shooter audiences. If you're building an MMORPG only, you're only appealing to that scope and that crowd, that audience. But when you take a look at Vulcan Forge, they have an MMORPG open world game. They have a card game in Berserk. They have all of these different games. They have a poker game with Vulcan Poker. They have a tower defense game. They have Vulcan Runner, which is kind of like Temple Run from those mobile gaming days. So they are touching a lot of different audiences with their scope. And that brings me back to Gala Games, right? So Gala Games, as we see here, they have a third-person shooter, a survival MMORPG with the likes of Walking Dead IP behind it. They have a brawler, PvP, and spider tanks. They have Legends Reborn. They have a simulation game in Townstar. They have Mirandus, which will be their MMORPG. Legacy, which is like a business simulation game. So when you take a look at the scope of some of these platforms, it's absolutely massive, the appeal and the fans and the audience that this could reach and this could touch. So you definitely want to take a look, how wide could this span? So stuff like Gala, stuff like Vulcan Forge, stuff like Ultra, those are the products that could potentially reach the masses because of how many different games will be launching on the platform and how many potential players and users it could eventually touch. So let's go ahead and pull the diagram back up. And if you want to screenshot this, this is literally the core pillars that I go through when I am assessing a project. And then obviously you want to take a look at the project's partners. So whenever you're looking at a project, things like Animoca Brands, if they're partnered up with YouTube or Activision, Riot Games, if they're partnered up with these big VCs, or in like, let's just say Superfarm's case with Immutable X. Immutable X's case, they have partnerships with hundreds of games at this point that will be launching on Immutable X between Alluvium, between Ember Sword, Guild of Guardians, etc. They have a massive plethora of partners that are top tier, not to mention Immutable X is partnered with GameStop, and GameStop will be launching their NFT marketplace right through Immutable X. So this is the type of stuff that you want to assess with your projects and actually be able to put your watch lists together. So we'll move over to progress. Now, this is one big thing in blockchain. It's really hard to assess where a project is in its progress. But what you want to find with these projects is transparency. So we'll go over here, for example, to Ultra. Ultra is very close to launching their protocol. So whenever there is progress in the platform, so you can go down, they're very transparent. As you can see with their Ultra Chill podcast, they are getting very close to Ultra's launch of various apps. Big Time, for example, that project is very close to launch, and it has beta stages out for gold and silver holders. So these are the type of things that you really want to keep an eye on. And then talking about progress, Gala Games with multiple games live, Vulcan Forge with multiple games live, Superfarm with not only their NFT marketplace building, But Imposters, which is sold out on OpenSea, has done very well and is very highly anticipated and is touted to be the Among Us of the blockchain. And then when you're taking a look at the rest of the core pillars, there is one thing that really sticks out, and that is gameplay loop. Gameplay loop. This is for games only. You want an addicting game. So these auto battlers currently, these click, stake, and plays, they don't really attract the user to just keep playing and keep playing. But when you're actually taking a look at a Big Time or an Illuvium or eventually Shrapnel, which is a first-person shooter, even the first-person shooter launching right on Ultra, their exclusive title, which is Elarium, which will be a space FPS game. These are the type of things you want to take a look at, and will it keep the user engaged? And that goes for every single protocol out there, right? So Gala has consistently kept their users engaged by producing more and more games and continuing to push things forward. Vulcan Forge in the same light. So when you're taking a look at all of these protocols, they all have their specific strengths, and you want to vet every single piece of the pie. So when you're looking between blockchains, gaming studios, games, between NFT marketplaces, all this stuff, you want to put it in one basket. So when you're taking a look here at a sample watch list, we have Ethereum, which is the king of NFTs. We have Polygon, which is a built for gaming blockchain, which just added Ryan Wyatt, which I believe is a top tier asset to be the CEO of Polygon Gaming. We have protocols like Engine, Gala, Ultra. And when you take a look at the prices on these coins, guys, Ultra, one of my favorite platforms out there, which is about to go live, is 8x from all-time highs. So you want to have these on your watch list and ready to go whenever the time comes, when Bitcoin does bottom and we start to see an uptrend in the market. These gaming coins will have some of the most massive rallies in the entire market. We're looking at a top project like Ultra, like I said, 8x off of an all-time high. We're looking at Polygon, which is ranked number 17 in market cap. This is 6x from all-time highs. And this is not the time to be buying. I am just showing you how to put together this watch list with these key pillars. You vet these projects, you put it all in one basket, and you figure out which ones you want to target when the market bottoms, when the market is comfortable for you to enter. Because I see some of the most massive gains in the entire market coming from this sector. I mean, look at Vulcan Forge. Vulcan Forge at the height of the bull run was $44. We're looking at 10x from all-time highs, and Vulcan Forge has so much more in the tank to come between partnerships, more games, etc. So when you're looking at the scope of these platforms, Verasity as well, with their esports streaming, esports tournaments, with their patented ad platform, this is a 10x once again from all-time highs. Let's look at the height of the bull run, 8 cents. We're looking at 0.007 right now for Verasity at a $33 million market cap. And then you want to also spread your bets, and you want to have your eyes on some lower cap protocols. So Phantasma, once again, great team, multiple games building on the platform, as well as top tier partnerships. They just made another partnership today as well that was very strong. And the diluted market cap here is the exact same as the normal market cap. You want to have your eyes on other small caps because these will do massive gains. Like Altura. Altura is 20x from all-time highs. Phantasma from all-time highs. When you take a look at a Guild of Guardians, for example, this will be one of the top games on Immutable X, and is, I believe they are launching at the end of the year. This has done nothing but a downtrend because they launched at the top of the market. So this is a protocol and a project, a game that's going to have an addictive gameplay loop that has a top-tier team that also is launching on Immutable X, one of the top platforms for games. This will be a massive opportunity. Some of these low cap gems, so to speak, whenever the market does turn upwards. You want to have your mix of top tier protocols, blockchains, gaming studios, streaming protocols, etc. But you also need to have your eye on some low cap gems that could potentially do what everyone seeks in the market. They want these 50x's, 20x's, 100x's. And I'm not, none of these projects are guaranteed to do that at all. But when you take a look at the risk return when the market does bottom, these gaming coins will present probably the best risk return in the entire market. So you want to have your eyes on that. Small cap games, Realms of Eternity, Froyo Games, which is a studio building 4 games currently. And this is, once again, It launched in a shaky market, and it had a little bit of a run here in February, but now we're looking at a 28 million fully diluted market cap in a really dead market, and we're going to go lower. I think we will be going lower. And these are the type of protocols you want to circle up, put in a basket, vet them, go through each pillar like we've mentioned, and I will go ahead and pull this up one more time as we close out the stream. You want to have these top tier protocols on your watch list for when this market bottoms. I'm talking about coins here, Gabriel. These are projects, actual tokens that I believe you need to be putting on your watch list for whenever this does bottom out. As mentioned, this will be the biggest gains to have in any sector. We're looking at 5, 8, 10, 20x off of all-time highs for these protocols. And this right here is my exact playbook for how I assess these games and assess the risk return. Bet on people and not promises. What's the product? What's the gameplay loop if it's a game? What is the scope of people they could reach? These are all key things to look at when you're putting your watch list together. So guys, be sure to like the video if you enjoyed the video, if you got value on how to put together your watch list for when the market does trend upward. When the market does trend upward, you want to have these projects in your scopes ready to fire, as mentioned. Be sure to subscribe to the channel as well. We're live here every day at 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. Also hit the bell notification so you know exactly when we go live. I will be back tomorrow with another video, guys. As always, play well, my friends.